recording. All right, well, this is Juneau Gastineau Rotary Club. I'm Amy Lujan, and we are in our first meeting of 2021 on January 7th. So we're pleased to have a multitude of presenters here who are going to be talking about the Southeast Community Services Campus, I guess it's being called, or center. And that's going to be going out there near the Nugget Mall. So we're finding out more about that today. And I'll turn it over to Sherry or Joan or whoever's going to speak first. Take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. So I'm going to share a screen. We're going to share screens, and so bear with us just a second. Oops. Host disabled participant screen. Amy, is it possible for me to share a screen?
Julie, are you on that?
Yep, done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Perfect. All right, great.
Can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Great.
Excellent. So this is a conceptual rendering that we prepared at the beginning of the project. Things have evolved and changed a bit, but it gives a good sense on how the two facilities work on the site. The building on the right is the building in construction, the Glory Hall, and they are, I think they've got their roof on in there, so they've got an enclosed space to work. So it's fabulous to have that. Building on the left is the Southeast Community Service Center. It's sited on we've struggled to find a good spot for both buildings, and this evolved out of Maria and Joan's good collaboration. And with this site being open, it set up an opportunity to create a campus. And you can see the way that they're relating. There is a shared access drive that will feed both buildings, and we each have parking lots that are sized for the facilities. The location was very appealing because of how it sits in relationship to the Smith Hall, which is across Alpine, and the St. Vincent de Paul's transitional housing and all of their kind of community components that are in there. I believe there's also some Juneau Youth Services relationship. So that campus kind of stretches across and down Teal Street. We're intent on creating this social service campus.
Do the next slide.
Let's go to the next slide.
Okay, in a second.
This is our civil engineering site plan, and the site is located at the intersection of Alpine on the east and Teal Street on the north. It's bordered on the south by the Jordan Creek kind of protected corridor, and the city's been very conscious of creating a park setting in this, and so it works wonderfully for both facilities. It gives the Glory Hall, which is sited further back from Teal Street, a more private location on the western side of the property. There's a unique little existing gravel pad that's in the left-hand corner that we're intent on trying not to use, and it may become something in the future for the Glory Hall, or potential to create other components of this campus. The Southeast Community Service Center is located on the more public corner. We wanted to have access from the street. We're hoping to develop a bus pullout, but the city is still trying to determine where they want that bus located. They believe that they need to move it away from Nugget Mall as that building's changed, and they're trying to find a more active spot within the vicinity. We're putting in a strong push to try to get them consider the bus stop there, because that would feed both facilities very well with what's going on with the Glory Hall, most of the people that are residents there are using public transportation, and it gives the Southeast Community Service Center a nice public access for people who don't have who can't drive.
And as well as St. Smith Hall and St. Vincent de Paul transitional housing. So it's a really good location for that neighborhood as well.
Another driving force, in developing the site, we wanted to provide some potential for phase 2 if this kind of joint nonprofit facility does take off. Then it gives us a place to expand to if other agencies want to join. But at this point, the area to the south of the building is going to be a garden, and gives us a really beautiful kind of setting and for the users and potentially the public. Working together with TGH, we were able to establish this shared site, and the driveway, the access drive between, allowed us to minimize traffic through the site. So we've created an easement that will feed both facilities there. We have a parking on the lower portion of the site that it'll be a one-way parking. You can come in off the access drive, but you exit out onto Alpine. We're trying to minimize traffic. And then we've got a loading area on the east side that will mostly feed Orca and Sail, large kind of storage areas and loan closets that are on the first floor. The Southeast Community Service Center project is about 12,500 square feet at this point. We've got 3 levels, and the lower level has a very public relationships. There's a large conference room that's in the southwest corner that will feed not only the building users, but will be open to the public. There's a large lobby area that the conference room can spill into, and we're hoping that it becomes a place that other agencies and other users can access as a part of the building. The upper 2 floors will have the rest of the tenants that will be within the building, and Joan will talk a little bit about that. But they've got the site is really wonderful in its opportunities for natural light and for views. I think especially the 3rd floor is going to have outstanding views up to the Mendenhall Glacier and the Mendenhall Towers, and then to the south to the airport and Douglas Island. There'll be great light. So we're really trying to take advantage of that with the nature of the exterior. It's a challenge because we don't want to put too much into the windows, but we're hoping that we can maximize the views and all this natural light. The building was designed to try to encourage flexibility. It's a pretty simple steel structure. You can see that it's relatively a square. The intention is that it will be flexible as users kind of expand and contract. But right now, the plan is pretty set within all of the using agencies. Design was created so that we wanted to encourage community connection, but also develop community within the building and in relationship to the Glory Hall. So strong connections from the front entrances to each other, and there'll be shared spaces within the building that will allow the users to access break rooms and small conference rooms, and potentially there's kind of flex spaces within the building for office expansion.
Yeah, I think that covers that well. And so Maria will share a little bit more about the Glory Hall. So let me stop sharing the screen.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us on. And Amy and Doug, I'm very, very sorry about my personal life oversharing yesterday when I woke up at 8 and thought that I missed the meeting because of my kid, and then Yeah, so sorry about that. So I am the executive director of the Glory Hall. As you know, and the Glory Hall is so happy to be part of this campus and to be moving to the new building. Our wonderful contractor, Eric, is here. And oh, I can share a screen. Our portion of the project is moving along very rapidly, and Doug, of course, is here too. We do have a roof on already, and we are really hoping to move in the summer of 2021. COVID has been pretty hard on the Glory Hall. Our capacity dropped from 40 beds upstairs to 16 if we were to accommodate any social distancing. We were able to secure some grant money and have been able to put people in hotels during outbreaks, or if we are particularly vulnerable. Our day room capacity has decreased from close to 100 people in the day room to 23, and we have rented the Filipino hall, out of which we have to move out in June. And I just also want to take this opportunity to thank everybody so much for the gift bags for the holidays. They were really well received and really cheered up the ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much. Let's see. So our new facility will, it's really well thought out, and we're really excited. Wayne Jensen is our architect, and he has worked with us tirelessly to make this facility better than the one downtown. It's almost twice as big. All of the patrons have individual sleeping spaces. And so we believe that we will be able to accommodate folks who are currently not staying at the Glory Hall due to severe mental health issues like PTSD. I'm sure many of you have seen kind of what's happening right in front of the Glory Hall downtown. And so we're really hoping with this design to eliminate this types of issues from happening. We're gonna have a really nice dining room. It will be quite a bit bigger. We will have a commercial kitchen in this building, and finally there will be some offices for staff, as well as room for clients to meet with providers when they need to. And of course, being next to the campus is really, or being next to the nonprofit center is really helpful for our patrons who will be able to access really critical stabilization services. And I don't want to talk too much because I know that there's limited time, so maybe I will hand this over to Joan now, and then we'll take questions at the end.
All right, thank you, Maria. And I wanted to thank the Gastineau Rotary Club for this opportunity to talk about the Southeast Community Services Center and our larger campus. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to try anyway. Here we go. Can folks see that? Great. So this is, we have a updated brochure or booklet, and I'm just gonna, it's hot off the press. It's so hot that it hasn't even been printed. It just, this is the electronic version, and you guys are the first to see it. This is the cover page, and this is our motto within the building and on the campus, that we're stronger together. And we really believe that. And let's see, I'm gonna work on scrolling down. Yikes. There we go. So we're just going to go through the booklet real quick. There's on the left, there's some nice pictures that some of the tenant organizations provided. Just wanted to say that the Southeast Community Services Center is going to feature wraparound services and programs that house multiple organizations under one roof. And that serve people who experience disabilities, at-risk youth, elders, and low-income community members throughout Juneau and Southeast. And you know, gosh, we all know that there's always a need for social services, and here with COVID-19, it's really accentuated the you know, folks on the margins, particularly how much that efficient social services are really important. I'm going to keep moving on through in respect of everybody's time. Travis and Sherry, our architects and contractors, have gone through the information on the left. There's on the bottom left is the 3D drawing that you saw, and above that is the site plan. And as another perspective of that, and then the front elevation view of the 3-story building there. Our goal is, you know, to create this welcoming, accessible, and inclusive social service campus to provide simple access to multiple appointments in one centralized location, to enhance collaboration between professionals and clients for cohesive service delivery, to maximize the communication barriers and increase access to services, to create greater public awareness and utilization of the range of resources that are available here in our community, and to increase the efficiency and maximize the resources for the social service nonprofits. And I'm going to keep scrolling through. This is the next double page, and wanted to point out that we're going to be located. We're located in the heart of the social. The nonprofit center is the star, the red star that you see there. As is, of course, the aerial view. You can see the glory hall and the little green box next to our star. The number 7 there, the little blue circle, is where we're hoping that bus stop is going to go. Currently, that bus stop is, of course, behind the Nugget Mall. And then, as we're all aware, the city plans to move the transit center over here in the next couple of years over to the Mendenhall Mall. So hence, they're looking at how to reroute around there. Number 6 is Smith Hall. 5 is the transitional housing of the St. Vincent de Paul, and 4 is their other operations. Number 1 and 2 to the left there. Number 1 is Clinton Haida Central Council. That's their Head Start program and their admin offices. And then number 2, so that's around the corner from us, is Juneau Youth Services and their headquarters. Love this aerial view. Really kind of gives a perspective of the 1/4 mile radius and the 1/2 mile radius of the site. So all those things I mentioned, and then there's urgent care number 3 there, are within a 1/4 mile of the site. And again, our motto is stronger together. We really believe that that's true. And the whole model of the Southeast Community Services is to embody the spirit of collaboration. As Travis and Sherry mentioned, we're going to have a lot of shared spaces. We're going to have shared meeting rooms and break rooms and workspaces that will create efficiencies and lower operating costs for the nonprofit service center service tenants. And you know, gosh, the idea is that by making below market rents, that the participating agencies will be able to spend less money on overhead and admin and more money on and resources on providing the services and providing mission, which is what we're all about. Again, we have a flex in the design is a flex resource room that will house rotating services that won't be permanently in the building. That we're working, for example, with folk rehab and a number of providers to bring services, you know, on various days to the site, the services that make sense for the campus. We're working with HUD on a community navigator that will be on the first floor to help guests find the right agencies and help them get to where they need to go. We can't take credit for this model. It's there's multi-tenant nonprofit centers all around the country. There's hundreds of them, and it's been proven to be a best practice. It's also proven to be a best practice to have a nonprofit center with complementary services next to low-income housing and shelters. And we've also been, a Southeast Community Services Center has been proving the model, is what we say, in our current location and lease space on Hospital Drive, where we've had from 4 to 7 nonprofits in the tower there since 2013. And we've broken the project of the Southeast Community Services Center into 3 phases. Phase 1 was the purchase of the property in coordination with the Glory Hall. We will be subdividing that property sometime down the line. Phase 1 is done. Phase 2 was the design, the site prep, and the utility siting. And we are currently and will continue in the future to save money and resources by coordinating with the Glory Hall on their building plans. Again, as Travis and Sherry mentioned, we have a shared road in. We're working together on bringing, sewer and power and all those things together, which is a cost savings. So thanks to the generous contributions of the Douglas Dornan Foundation, the Juneau Community Foundation, the Mental Health Trust, the City and Borough of Juneau's, and others, we have all the funding for phase 2. So again, that's design, site prep, and utility siting. So now we are raising funds for phase 3. That's the construction phase. Our plan, if things go as we hope, and we've got a lot of a great team working on it, is that we will break ground either in late summer or the fall of 2021, with completion and move in the fall of 2022. And that's our plan. So who's leading this charge? The United Human Services of Southeast Alaska. Some of you may not have heard of them, but we were incorporated back in 2009 with the vision of strengthening the social services delivery in Juneau for the benefit of the community. And the mission is to facilitate collaboration among the health and social service organizations. You'll see there on the screen is our list of our current board of directors. Joe Parrish is the president. Wayne Stevens of the United Way is our tenant representative, a voting member on the board. Chuck Collins has been a part of this effort since the inception. Stacy Doof and Garrett Schoenberger, Adam Sykes, Terry Maxwell, and Bruce Wyrock are the current board. United Human Services really, the tenants that we have tenure commitments from their boards aren't haphazard. It was really strategic. Okay, who makes sense? What organizations and services make sense on this campus? And so we have tenure commitments from my organization, Southeast Alaska Independent Living, Alaska Legal Services, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Disability Law Center, the Juneau Suicide Prevention Coalition, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, or NAMI, the Juneau chapter, and the United Way of Southeast Alaska. And that's not including the folks that we are courting for the resource, the flex room, the resource center there. And before I move to the next slide, so the United Human Services they're the coordinator of the project, and again, they're a nonprofit, and they will manage the building once it's complete. And then here we go, and you'll notice on the left is our donate button. We want to keep, we're trying to be efficient. We are finding that during COVID, prices are unfortunately escalating. This may be a $6.5 million project. We're trying to get the price down. We currently have raised just under 2 million of that. We're working with we're working with Rasmussen and Murdoch and all the normal players that you would think. We have a dynamic Capital Campaign Committee. I see Mary Becker here. Mary's a part of that. We welcome more folks to join that effort. We've got a United Human Services is open to fund at the Juneau Community Foundation, a special project fund for collecting donations. We have a website, folks can donate there. And at the bottom of the screen on the left is our website address, unitedhumanservices.org. You know, it's a big effort, and we're so pleased to have not only folks on the design team. There's lots of different committees happening. I see Kim Kiefer's part of the design building committee. But there's lots of ways to get involved, and yes, we need money, but we also we need the community to continue to come together to make this happen. So part of my goal today is that hopefully some of the folks on the line will want to get involved in one way or another that makes sense for you. And this is the back page of our booklet, and I love this picture. It's the nasturtiums and that colorful nasturtiums in the back there, and that's a photo provided by Big Brothers and Sisters, and that's a big and a little. And then on the right is a quote from one of our current tenants in our, as we prove the model on Hospital Drive, that just talks about how it's so nice to be able to make a soft handoff. You know, somebody comes to us and it's like, okay, we're going to walk you over to this other organization because they, you know, they have services that that complement, will help with what you need. So my phone number is on here, as well as, again, our website and our email, info@unitedhumanservices.org. And I don't know, hopefully I didn't take too much of your time there. I know you guys are on a time schedule, but I'm going to turn it back to Amy, and I want to again thank you all for this opportunity to talk about our project. And I'm hoping that some of you will want to reach out and be involved in one way or another.
Okay, thank you, Joan. This is fantastic. I just, it seems like every time we see Maria, she's presenting us with some new fantastic project that is already like halfway done. And I just wondered, Maria, could you tell us a little bit more about your funding and timeline on that Glory Hall? It's incredible to see it halfway up.
Yes, and I just have to, I can't thank Eric enough and his team and our design team for really working so quickly and then so effectively, and for and our board member Bruce Denton, who is actually out there like physically helping, and then like definitely this wouldn't happen without them at all. And so we were able, I'm so sorry, sorry. We have the other guest here, Dylan, who is 3 and is feeling much better, Amy and Doug, in case you are wondering. So we were able to secure a grant from City and Borough of Juneau, from Rasmussen Foundation, from the Alaska Mental Health Trust, and several very sizable donations from private foundations. And people have been contributing to our fundraisers. So I think we are about $200,000 from the end, and we have a large grant in right now, which we are pretty optimistic about, and I'm about to put in 2 others. And so we also have a fund at the Juneau Community Foundation, or if anybody wants to help, you know, you could donate to the Glory Hole directly, but we're pretty optimistic that we will get there. The total cost of our project is $4.3 million. And the timeline, and again, like I just really can't say, you know, how grateful we are to Eric for working with us on the timeline. It really, you know, like we need to move as soon as possible. Like we needed to move 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when COVID started, would have been really great. But we're really, really hoping for, so we have to move out of the Filipino hall by June 30th. That's like the maximum extent of our lease. Like our lease will absolutely expire, and we might have to move out earlier if if bingo operations can resume. So we're really like, this is our current situation. It's not great. It's very tumultuous, and yeah, the quicker the better, but sometime midsummer I think is what's realistic. And
Are there any other questions out there? Rosemary?
So I don't have a question. I just want to say a very sincere congratulations to both you, Maria, and Joan. I know this has been an effort that, Southeast Human Services has worked on for, I don't know, maybe 15 years at least. And I am so pleased that you guys are finally bringing it to fruition. And I think it's going to be a real asset to the community. So thank you very much for your years of dreaming and working and getting this to happen.
Thank you, Rosemary. Annette?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. First, I'd like to also say thank you for all of your work. Probably Maria is the one that will be able to answer these. So my first question is, Juneau's a very generous community, and contributions increase, but yet so does the homeless population, and that is even before COVID. And there's lots of rumors, running around about why that's occurring, but I'd like your opinion. And the second question is this new campus going to eliminate homelessness downtown? And if not, how are services going to be provided to them? Thank you. I'll go back on mute.
Thank you. That's a great question. I will talk about the numbers first. So, it seems like homelessness is increasing, but I think, and it is slightly based on the city's homeless count numbers. It doesn't seem like it's increasing dramatically, but certainly it is somewhat. And to what do we attribute it to? I think homelessness became more visible downtown, especially from, the start of COVID, probably even until now, but certainly through November, before we had the Filipino hall, like people just couldn't be inside our facility. And so you just saw a lot more people outside. And then unfortunately, we weren't able to secure the Filipino hall. I think sometime in November we moved in, like not even November 1st. And unfortunately, like with culture, with like people are now outside than inside, like it's hard to go back. But I think we will, but that's definitely been a challenge. But I think, homelessness is unfortunately on the rise all around the country, and there are many, many factors, which I think are probably too complex. And, also too complex to talk about in a short time span. And then as far as homelessness downtown, so Housing First Phase 2 is online, and it's almost full. And we really do think, we've been doing a lot of patron surveys, but patrons will, once our building moves, folks will move. People will still be downtown who are experiencing homelessness. Probably, will it make an impact? Our new building, yes, it will. And certainly for folks who are downtown, services are needed. But what do these services look like? We've been thinking about this a little bit. The Glory Hole does not have any plans on keeping our downtown building open. The Glory Hole board is still debating on what to do with the building. It seemed like we were really leaning towards selling the building and using the funds to provide operational stability to our operations. But then COVID happened, and so nobody wants to buy buildings downtown right now for any sum of money, but would be appropriate also. So we're waiting to see. We are talking very seriously about outreach to downtown in collaboration with other partner agencies. Outreach would be during daytime, and the goal would be to connect people to services, but not to kind of like support support people, but like not the lifestyle. So I hope that answers the question.
All right, we'll
Thank
probably
you.
have time for one more question, a quick question. Sharon?
Yes, thank you for being here, you all, and a great presentation. And mine's perhaps a frivolous question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Maria, I was delighted some years ago to tour your rooftop garden. In your new location, will you have gardening opportunities for?
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much. We are going to have like the most wonderful garden, and it's going to have southern exposure. And it's not going to have, it won't be on the roof. I did really try to talk Bruce and Wayne into a flat roof, but thank God like nobody listens to me, because the flat roof is really a nightmare as far as like leaks. But there's lots of space around the building, and so yes, absolutely, we're going to have a garden. I am trying to talk the board into letting us use the industrial lot for even a bigger garden. Our patrons are really excited about putting in a garden, so yeah, we just really can't wait to garden. And yeah, I think it will be really beautiful, and it will be a lot less challenging to put in, I think. But yeah, thank you for that question, and yeah, we're really so excited about that part of the new program.
All right, Maria, thank you very much. Joan, Travis, Sherry, thank you for coming. It's a great project. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing finished. Thanks everybody for coming.